In recent years, WWE's international premium live events have been absolute game changers, proving that wrestling magic only gets louder when the passport gets stamped. Just look at AJ Styles in Paris last year, where the French crowd treated every move like a national holiday, or Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico, who didn't just step into the ring, he stepped into legend status, turning Backlash into a full-blown cultural celebration that had the island shaking. Sometimes, though, WWE's worldwide tours have sometimes felt less like sports entertainment and more like a crash course in whoops, maybe we shouldn't do that in this country. I'm Senor Siete for 7 Wrestling. Let's take a look at 7 international incidents that got the WWE in big trouble. Now, before we get into that, we appreciate your support, so if you enjoy this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and Stone Cold Stunner that notification bell. Number 1. Tonedeaf Texan. John Bradshaw Layfield was never known for his subtlety. This is a man whose character was built around being a loudmouth Texan millionaire who wrestled in a cowboy hat and probably thought that empathy was a type of tequila. But in 2004, while the WWE was touring Germany, JBL managed to pull off a stunt so ill-conceived, even he later admitted it was a bad idea. That's right, he goose-stepped and threw one-armed salutes in the middle of a wrestling match, once again, in Germany. Now, for those of you playing the home game, this kind of imagery is not just frowned upon in Germany, it's actually illegal. You can get fined or jailed for it, so imagine the German fans' horror when JBL starts prancing around the ring doing his best impression of a Raiders of the Lost Ark villain. And why did he do it? Well, according to JBL, he was just trying to get heat, which is wrestling speak for I wanted people to boo me, but forget where I was and what century we live in. Fallout came quickly. German TV network ProSieben dropped WWE programming faster than you can say bad career choice. JBL was fined by the network, and while the WWE didn't publicly discipline him, it was one of those moments that screamed, maybe the WWE talent should read a history book before doing some of these promos. To this day, it's still brought up as one of the most inappropriate things a wrestler has done overseas, and in a company that once hosted Muhammad Hassan's character during the post 9/11 years, that's saying something. Number 2. Flag on the play. In 2012, Chris Jericho, wrestling's undisputed master of reinvention and running his mouth, found a brand new way to generate heat by nearly starting a riot in Brazil. During a WWE live event in Sao Paulo, Jericho was doing what Jericho does, antagonizing the crowd like a rock star heel with a microphone and a superiority complex. But then, in a moment of, hey, this worked in 1999 brilliance, he got a hold of a Brazilian flag that his opponent CM Punk had brought into the ring. Then he stomped it, flung it out like yesterday's scarf from a Fozzy tour. The crowd, absolutely livid. The police, they were right there, and they weren't playing kayfabe. Turns out desecrating the national flag in Brazil is not just frowned upon, it's criminal. Like, congratulations, you're going to jail, never to see the light of day again. Security swarmed Jericho, the show nearly got shut down, and WWE forced Jericho to apologize during the actual match. In his book, The Best in the World, Jericho describes Punk selling in the corner while Jericho apologized to the crowd, and when he finished, continuing with the match. The WWE suspended him for 30 days and fined him $10,000 because apparently nearly triggering a diplomatic incident is equal to failing a wellness test or hitting the wrong finisher, although Jericho claims that money was never actually collected by the company. Moral of the story, when in Brazil, don't touch the flag, don't look at the flag, don't breathe near the flag, don't taunt the flag, or you will go from best in the world at what I do to best in the world at getting deported real quick. Number 3, China gets furious. Okay, this one isn't WWE specifically, but it did happen to the most WWE guy of all time. Now, John Cena has overcome a lot in his career, injuries, booze, ruthless aggression, but nothing prepared him for the final boss, international diplomacy. While promoting F9, the fast, even more fast and get furious with it, in 2021, Cena casually referred to Taiwan as a country in an interview. Simple, right? Not when your movie studio wants that sweet, sweet Chinese box office money. Almost immediately, Cena was persona non grata in the eyes of Chinese social media. The backlash was swift, brutal, and filled with more political fire than the Seth Rollins entrance. So what did the main purveyor of hustle, loyalty, and respect do? He issued a groveling apology in Mandarin. Yes, fluent Mandarin, because nothing says, please let me keep my movie career, like breaking out Duolingo for damage control. And here's the kicker. Despite the apology, people on both sides hated it. Chinese citizens said it wasn't sincere enough. American fans said it wasn't something you should apologize for. Everybody else just asked, hold up, John Cena speaks Mandarin? Yeah, man, dude's a robot, full-blown Terminator. Moral of the story, never underestimate the power of a press junket gone wrong, especially when it involves geopolitics, action sequels, and a guy who once rapped about poop jokes. Number 4, too much heat. In what might be the most ill-advised case of just following orders since the Clone Wars, Araya Davari and his brother Sean made their grand entrance at WWE's Greatest Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, waving an Iranian flag and cutting a heel promo straight out of 1985. Because nothing says, we respect your complex geopolitical history, like stoking ancient rivalries in front of a packed stadium of people who very much remember those actual wars. The Davari strutted down to the ring, flaunting the flag of Iran, insulting Saudi wrestlers, and generally doing the whole foreign menace shtick WWE had been obsessed with since the Cold War. Here's a twist. It wasn't just some dusty idea from Vince's Xenophobia Playbook Volume 1. Reportedly, a Saudi prince actually requested the segment, because nothing spices up a royal party like potential diplomatic fallout. Crowd reacted predictably, massive boos, literal threats against Davari's life. They later posted an apology explaining that they were playing a character, which is usually code for please don't make me a political prisoner. It wasn't just a bad idea, it was an international cringe bomb disguised as sports entertainment. And if you ever wondered what would happen if Vince McMahon booked Call of Duty Modern Warfare as a tag match, this was it. And props to the Davaris for surviving it, and whatever the opposite of props are to WWE for somehow managing to make cheap heat feel like an act of war. Fortunately, this would be the last time the WWE would get in trouble with the Saudi government. Number 5, dance break. So there the WWE was, patting itself on the back, holding a historic pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia where women were barely allowed to exist on screen, let alone wrestle, and then, whoops, someone in production accidentally spiced things up. During the Greatest Royal Rumble 2008, wow, a lot of problems with that show. Promotional video for Carmella, the moonwalking, trash-talking former SmackDown Women's Champion, accidentally aired to the live crowd. And no, this wasn't a respectful video of Carmella talking about her favorite charity. It was Carmella being peak Carmella, strutting around in her ring gear, dancing, flipping her hair, and generally embodying everything the Saudi General Sports Authority was not ready for. To say it didn't go over well would be an understatement. Local officials were pissed. WWE quickly issued an apology, called the moment an accident, which is corporate speak for somebody definitely got yelled at in the truck. The Saudi Arabia General Sports Authority would release a statement saying, "We would like to apologize to the viewers and attendees of last night's WWE show that took place in Jeddah over the indecent scene involving women that appeared as an ad before a segment. It would like to confirm its total disapproval of this in the shadow of its commitment to eliminate anything that goes against the community's values." Meanwhile, fans online lit up with reactions ranging from LOL, Saudi got Carmella, to how is this company still trying to pull off this faux progressive PR tour? Carmella herself didn't comment much, probably because she was too busy not getting booked for these shows in the first place. The fallout, the WWE tightened its grip on content shown during these international events, and the rest of us learned that even the slightest hint of skin could cause a geopolitical incident if you air it during the wrong pay-per-view. In short, WWE tried to present a carefully curated version of its product to a conservative market, and Carmella moonwalked right through the firewall. Can't teach that. Fortunately, this would be the last time the WWE would get in trouble with the Saudi government. Number 6, the case of the kidnapped crew. Oh yeah, the time the WWE's working relationship with Saudi Arabia turned into an episode of Locked Up Abroad. In late 2019, after the Crown Jewel event, the WWE roster boarded a plane to head home, and then they didn't head home. For hours, then more hours, then many, many more hours, the official story was mechanical issues. The unofficial story, just a little thing where the Saudi government allegedly froze Vince McMahon's payment. Vince allegedly cut the live feed to the TV show, and the local authorities allegedly said, cool. your wrestlers aren't leaving. Now, while Vince himself had already jetted out of the country on his private plane, because of course he did, the rest of the roster sat on the tarmac and waited and waited. Some wrestlers swore up and down that nothing shady happened. Others basically said, oh yeah, we were definitely hostages. The truth is buried somewhere between the PR spin and a Dark Side of the Ring episode just waiting to be made. In the end, the crew did make it home hours later than planned, with some deciding never to go back to Saudi Arabia again. And Vince, he got his money, he didn't get stuck anywhere, proving once again that the boss always knows when to make a strategic exit. Number 7, the Flightmare. Okay, technically this happened on an airplane, but it was on the way back to the States after European tour, so we're counting it. Such is the curse of every list needing 7, and the fact that we had just done Vader getting in trouble in Kuwait. Alright, picture this. Everyone's flying back to the US, and Vince McMahon has rented a private charter for the roster. Sounds classy, right? Yeah. No, this was less luxury business flight and more flying frat house from the 9th circle of HR hell. The flight got delayed on the tarmac for 7 hours, and instead of napping or quietly reading a book, the wrestlers discovered that the plane had an open bar. What could possibly go wrong? Well, for starters, Brock Lesnar and Curt Hennig decided to have an impromptu wrestling match at 30,000 feet, slamming into the emergency exit like that's just a normal thing that humans do. Now, the odds of that opening an emergency exit of a pressurized cabin are very slim, but it still freaked people out. Michael Hayes, who had been bullying JBL, wrap your head around that for a second, allegedly had his ponytail chopped off by X-Pac because, hey, why not escalate a prank war mid-Atlantic? Dustin Rhodes attempted to serenade his ex-wife Terry using the plane's PA system, but the darker side of the story involves Scott Hall and Ric Flair allegedly crossing way over the line with some of the flight attendants. Hall was accused of inappropriate touching and was so intoxicated he had to be wheeled off the plane. Flair, meanwhile, spent the flight strutting around in nothing but his robe, which, according to one of the attendants, he later wore open while cornering her in the galley and trying to force her to touch him. Gross. Conduct landed both men in legal trouble. WWE quietly settled the lawsuits, but the PR damage was done. Back on the ground, the WWE handed out some quiet punishments. Hall and Hennig and a few others were gone shortly after, but the incident has lived on in wrestling infamy. It wasn't just a bad flight, it was the flight that proved that some wrestlers should never be allowed in enclosed spaces with free booze and no legal oversight. Well, there's our list, and I leave out any other international incidents that got the WWE in big trouble. If so, please leave them in the comments section below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and razor's edge that notification bell. Until next time, I'm Senor Siete for 7 Wrestling saying bye-bye.